Hello, people. Welcome back to another video by your good friend, Chad Marco. Make sure you guys check out my other social media, attack the like button, and let's have a conversation. So you guys know I do the live podcast on Twitch. And the last episode, we were talking about this article that said that, 45% of men age 18 to 25 have never approached a woman or something along those lines. And I kind of venture into the territory of talking about a very specific environment in which men are typically told not to approach women, which is the gym. And if you're interested in seeing like me go more in depth in that, then check out the latest podcast. But I wanted to do like a standalone video here because, I tend to rant when I'm doing my live streams. So I kind of want to sum up my major points that I made about this topic into today's video. So yeah, we're going to be talking about why are men discouraged from approaching women at the gym, why I think you shouldn't do it, and if you are gonna do it, how should you do it? All right, so the first thing that we have to talk about is, why is it considered to be taboo for men to ask girls out at the gym in the first place? Now, these points are more so like the general ideas, maybe not necessarily my own, but this is kind of like, because when I was looking into this, I saw like a lot of different posts and perspectives from men, from women, and things like that. And these seem to be like the primary reasons, right? So I think the biggest one is, people feel like when girls go to the gym, it's one of those places where they just want to do what they're doing in peace and be left alone. Because we all know that one of the challenges of being a woman is that, especially if you're attractive, whenever you go out and somewhere in public, there's always the possibility of receiving attention from men. Now, sometimes girls like that attention, sometimes they welcome it, but sometimes they don't. And I think one thing about it that we have to always remember is that even if you yourself are a gentleman and you're nice about how you talk to women, women get approached so much that a lot of times they have accumulated negative experiences with men approaching them. Like, all men are going to be nice about it. Some guys are going to be rude. Some guys are going to make them very uncomfortable. Some guys are going to be creepy. And so I think that, this kind of creates a thing inside of women where they can become annoyed by how frequently they get approached by men. And so it kind of becomes a thing where, I can see how they get to the point where it's like, damn, I just want to go to the grocery store without anyone bothering me. Damn, I just want to go pump my gas without somebody coming to talk to me. Damn, I just want to go to the gym, work out without anyone trying to bother me. So I can see it from that perspective. And the next point is, and this kind of stems from the other one, is how, because of how uncomfortable it can make girls, especially in an environment, I think that girls tend to go to the gym already in what I would call like defense mode. Like, they have their defenses up because they are probably expecting guys to, if not talk to them, then to be staring at them and things like that. And we all know it's kind of like how you see those videos, those gym videos of girls. They might have been recording themselves and then they'll catch guys like looking at them through the mirror, or guys like just being too close to them or things like that. Now, obviously, some of these videos, the girls are kind of exaggerating these interactions. But the point is, it shows that a lot of times girls just do not want to be bothered most of the time. And I think this leads to the next point, and it's kind of like what people tend to say about, don't shit where you eat, right? Or, don't make your sanctuary or their sanctuary awkward. And I think it's kind of the same as like how when people talk about why you shouldn't talk to girls or like flirt with girls that you work with. The place you work is obviously a very important place for you. That's where you make your money. So, if you mess that up by creating bad relationships or a bad reputation in regards to how you deal with women, again, even if you're trying to be polite and nice about, asking people out or flirting and things like that, it's like I always say, it's not about how you do it, it's how girls perceive what you're doing. You can be an asshole. If they like that approach, then you're a player. You can be a nice guy, but if they think that you're creepy, then that becomes the narrative of the interaction. And so that's why it's kind of a gamble when you talk to girls or try to flirt with girls in a place that you have to frequent. Because if you rub them the wrong way, more people might take their side than yours. You could make the environment more awkward. And, that's something that a lot of people don't want to deal with. And then on top of that, you can make it awkward for them, because it's like, maybe you asked them out, and however you did it, maybe you just creeped them out a little bit, right? So now whenever they see you, they might want to like stay away from you, or they might just get a little bummed out. Oh, that guy is here again, right? So these are some of the general reasons why people will typically suggest that men don't try to ask out girls at the gym. Now, I'm going to tell you why I think you shouldn't ask girls out at the gym, right? Now, of course, taking advice from me, always dangerous, right? Because one, I don't give a fuck. And I tend to be a little bit more pessimistic about dating, and especially code approach, than most guys. So I'm just putting that on Front Street. But this is why I think, why generally speaking, I would suggest you don't do it. So I'm going to start at the foundation of everything, right? And I think the biggest issue is going to be that the rate of success is likely to be extremely low. And we already know that when you're talking about code approach in general, you're already dealing with low odds of success. And I think that those low odds become multiplied in a gym setting, partially because of, the reasons that I stated before. Girls go into the gym on defense mode. So they're ready to curb guys and just get away from me. Yeah, you're kind of cute, but I really don't want to be bothered right now. Like, they're in a different mode already, especially if they came to the gym like, I just want to work out, leave me alone. So you're already like in a situation where the odds are stacked against you. And this is the other thing too, right? The thing about going to the gym is that you're going to be around a lot of pretty and fit girls. Now, I see attractive women pretty much anywhere I go, but the frequency of seeing attractive women tends to be very high at a place like the gym for obvious reasons. Now, of course, you have like the big girls in there, right? You got some little ugly gremlin looking girls and shit like that in there as well. But because of it being the gym, a place where people who are interested in actually taking care of their body tend to frequent, you're going to see a lot of attractive women now. And we all know that when you're talking about like the code approach or talking to girls that you don't know, the chance of success goes down the more attractive the girls tend to be. So I think what happens is we start going to the gym and then we see these attractive and fit girls, and it kind of like, it makes us want to interact with them. We want to talk to them. We want to make them our girlfriends. We want to have sex with them. But I think we kind of forget that we're actually around some of the more attractive women that are in our community. And that's why I say the odds of success go down, because you're dealing with more attractive women, not just average girls that barely or don't work out that you might see somewhere else. And I think the likelihood of these girls being single, that in of itself, right? Because again, you're talking about pretty attractive girls. So like the basic rules still apply. She has to be single. She has to find you attractive. And and then on top of that, it has to be like the right time, shit like that. And then just the fact that they're on defense, like I said, that's gonna give you a bit more trouble as well. And then on top of that, I think this is where self-awareness comes into play, Because everything that I'm saying might not apply to you if you are a giga nigga or a super chat or some shit like that, right? Now me, I consider myself to be like an average tier guy when I'm in the gym. Now, you guys know, like, I'm fit, don't get me wrong, I'm fit. I get a lot of compliments from guys when I'm in the gym. I don't really get complimented for like my size though, because I'm like a lean type of like a lean type of athletic fit person. You know, my body type is probably closer to that of like a middleweight boxer or some shit like that. But what I get complimented for tends to be like my effort, right? How much energy I put out. Like people see me just going and going and going. Like one person compared me to David Goggins, which I thought was fucking crazy. But that's usually like the comparison that I get. But the thing is, like, I don't really stand out size wise. Like I stand out just in terms of like my energy output. So you got to remember that your competition is not just that the girls are going to be more attractive in the gym. The guys are going to be more attractive in the gym too. So you're going to see guys who are like 6'2", 200 pounds, lifting more than you, running more than you, bigger than you, wider than you. Like, and you know, sometimes when I'm in the gym, I'm not gonna lie, you know, because I put a lot of work into my body. I be feeling myself sometimes. Then I see one of them giga niggas, and I'm like, oh, that's who the girls want, right? And you know, again, it's a self-awareness thing, because I can't tell you where you stand on that in that pecking order. I put myself in like the average category. Again, like my body isn't really that spectacular. At least in my opinion, I'm just lean and fit and a little muscular and shit like that, but I'm not big. I think it's the big guys who tend to get the most like attention and the most eyes, because they stand out for being like tall and like really muscular and big and things like that. Guys like me, we're really like a dime a dozen in the gym, if we're being honest. Maybe not in terms of like my output, but in terms of appearance, I'm nothing special. And I think you gotta look at yourself and like where you stand in that. If you're one of those top tier guys, you might have more of a chance, but if not, then everything I said previously probably applies. And so this leads to the next point. The more you ask, the more you are likely to build up a bad reputation at the gym. And so it's like I said, you know, when I was looking into this conversation, this topic, of course you had some people who were like encouraging guys to ask girls out at the gym and things like that. But I feel like they were kind of looking at it like on a case by case type of basis, like almost like as if you would have to ask out maybe 2 or 3 girls before finding the one. And if you apply code approach logic to the gym, then you know that there's a strong possibility that that's not going to be the case. So you got to think, how many girls am I going to have to ask out before I get a yes, a number, a date, sex, a girlfriend, whatever the case may be. And, you know, that's just the chaos of the code approach, because you don't know. The first girl you ask out could give you a number, or it could be the 56th girl you ask out. Now, see, when you are doing the code approach thing across the entirety of like your community, like going different places like the mall, bars, the park, you know, Walmart, wherever, then it's like you're kind of spreading those approaches out, right? So it's less likely that you're gonna build up a reputation in a specific place. But if you're talking about the gym, again, it's the gym is really kind of like a community. You'll see a lot of the same people throughout the week. And so how many girls are you gonna have to talk to before you get something out of it? And that's something that you got to think about as well, because, you know, people talk. Like, one thing I know about the gym is like people talk about other people and they pay attention to what other people are doing. Like, it's like there are also people that kind of stand out and events that people hold on to and remember. Like, I remember there's a girl that works at the gym, and I was talking to her one time, And she was talking about like weird people in the gym and shit like that. And I asked her, I said, am I one of the weird people in the gym? And she said that you're the guy that's fighting in the corner because I be shadow boxing. But even something like that, like me just minding my business, shadow boxing, like there are people who see that, and then now I got a reputation for doing that. And so obviously, if you go to the gym and you're asking out multiple girls, and again, this varies because how do they respond? Do they respond good? Are they offended? Do you come off as being creepy? That is going to contribute to you developing a reputation. But I also must say, it also depends on how much do you care, right? Because one thing that I saw, when I was looking into this topic at different threads and whatnot, one person kind of pointed out like the silliness of, caring what other people think about you asking out girls. And then also girls themselves being so offended by guys wanting to talk to them. And I think that was a good point. I think he was right overall. So I think that's a part of it too. Like, yeah, you got to ask yourself, how much do you care about potentially developing that kind of reputation and rubbing girls the wrong way? I think that though, like in my opinion, the reason why I would just say fuck it and not put myself through that is because if you have to talk to girls, if you want to find a girlfriend, there are better places to do it. You can do it in places where you don't have to risk, compromising the comfort and the peace of a location that you frequent very often. And again, this is why people will tell you don't shit where you eat. Don't ask girls out where you work. Don't ask girls out at the gym. So what they're saying is these are places where that are important to you, right? So if you're gonna play the whole code approach game, go places where if anything does go left, then you don't have to go there as much or very often. It's not like an important location. And I know that the likelihood of something very bad happening is typically kind of low, but do you want to risk it? That's the question that I would ask. So it's how much do you care? Because if you say, fuck it, I'm gonna stop caring, then you got to also think, okay, are you willing to risk the comfort and peace of a place that you love to go to, as far as like making things awkward with you and other people that go there, or things even escalating beyond that? But I'll say this too, and this is just my opinion, you don't have to agree, but I think that as excessive code approaching is low class behavior. And there are some guys, like older men in the manosphere, that I've seen talk about this that I agree with. Like Coach Greg Adams, he's one of those guys. Like he's not completely anti-code approach, but he does think like code approaching is like kind of like desperation behavior. And there was another guy, he passed away. I forgot what his name was. He was like an older black guy. He was that older black guy that did that critique of the Kent video all those years ago. But anyway, he would call it hoe chasing. Like he always discouraged guys from like hoe chasing, which he described as just like almost like desperately trying to talk to damn near any girl that you found attractive. Like he was big on like choosing signals, just hanging back, taking your time, shit like that. But everybody has a different approach to how they do it. But in my opinion, I just think that excessive code approaching is low class behavior. And I think that in a gym environment, where you're already dealing with low odds, again, how many girls are you gonna have to ask out before you get something out of it, right? And how much damage to your rep are you gonna cause before you get what you want? And I think the other thing too, why I would recommend guys not do it, is boyfriends, right? Because I mean, again, you're talking about more attractive women, so they're more likely to have boyfriends anyway. But also, just because you see a girl by herself doesn't mean that the boyfriend isn't there with her. So if you are gonna do it, I always say that you should try to hang back and gather some information first. And I'll tell you a quick story. One time I was in the gym and there's this Mexican girl in there with a big fat ass. I mean, damn, like porn star body, my lord. And I think the first couple times I saw her in there, she was by herself. So I was like, damn, like this big booty girl in here by herself. Now, of course, I wasn't gonna talk to her or anything, but I noticed her. Then I started seeing like a guy come around, and then I kind of just connected the dots, and I was like, oh, that's her boyfriend. So he was always around, but they don't always work out together. They do sometimes. But you know, the thing about going to the gym with your girl is that your workouts might not match up because, you know, men tend to do different things from women. Like women tend to be more into like cardio and workouts that focus on like their lower, like the lower half of their body, their legs, their glutes, things like that. Men tend to be more focused on like heavy lifting, upper body workouts for the pecs, the arms. And so you can't just be on top of your girl the whole time when you're at the gym unless you're just mate guarding hard like that. So that's another thing that you have to be aware of before you try to talk to girls at the gym. Is she there with a boyfriend or not? Because look, some guys will understand, they'll be cool about it, you didn't know, but you don't know the temperament of everybody that is in that gym. Some people are not going to be cool about it. So I'm not saying that you can't. I'm saying that if you're going to do it, that's something to keep in mind, is to at least get some information first and just kind of watch and see how things play out. Because I've benefited a lot. Again, 9 times out of 10, or really 99.9% of the time, I'm never going to ask out a girl. But I've benefited a lot in times where if I did think about it, and the fact that I just said, fuck it, I'm not going to do it, the more I watched, the more I either saw there were red flags with her, or I saw that she had a boyfriend or a kid or something like that. And, you know, this is the most common sense one, I think. Most girls just don't want to be bothered most of the time. And that's damn near anywhere, anytime. I think like the only place where I think it would be like really silly for a girl to expect not to be bothered by men is probably like bars, clubs, things like that, like super social events, you know, raves, concerts. Like if I was gonna talk to random girls, like code approach, it would be places like that, not the gym, not work, not the mall, like not places where it's more likely that the girl just wants to go out and do what she's doing. As opposed, because again, like if I go to a concert, super social event, right, right, then I would be silly to be mad if people want to talk to me or being friendly and shit like that. But the gym is different because headphones in, I'm focused on my sets, my workout, I want to get in and get out, right? So we already are dealing with the fact that girls just don't want to be bothered by most men anyway. I think when you take that to the gym, that goes up like by a lot. And so I think girls are very kind of like skittish when they're in the gym. And in fact, here are a few stories, right? And it's funny because I posted these on X. So with me, typically, I'm very aware of how girls perceive guys in terms of like noticing us and not wanting to be bothered by us. So I tend to give girls their space. So, for instance, if I'm out running and I notice that there are girls in front of me, like I'm about to run into, I'll just go ahead and cross the street, like, and just run on the other side of the street. If I'm in the grocery store and I see an attractive girl on an aisle somewhere, I'll just wait till she leaves before I go down, because I just know how. Now, saying this, you're gonna say, Chad, that's so stupid, that's so silly. Listen to me. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I'm at the gym, right? And so there's this area in the gym where it's like monkey bars and pull-up bars. It's like the way it's shaped is like 4 corners to it, right? It's like this workout jungle gym thing. And so I'm really in the mood for some pull-ups, right? But I see these 2 girls by, you know, this little workout area. So I'm like, okay, look, normally I would just not even go over there based on what I said previously, right? But I said, you know what, tonight, fuck it. I'm trying to get my pull-ups in. Now, mind you, they're on the opposite side of where I go to. So I'm not even close to them. The second I get over there and put my bag down, they get up and they leave. And you know what? It's funny because, like I said, right as I was about to do it, I thought about just not going over there because I know how girls are. Girls immediately assume a guy coming close to me, oh, he's gonna talk to me. He wants to be around me. He wants to talk. So that's why I tend to avoid girls. At the very least, I'm not gonna go where the girls are. I'm gonna go where I want to go. That's clear of females. If they come around, cool. But I don't go where the girls are, like, ever, because of shit like that. And then you'll say, Marco, that's just one time. Look, listen. So this time I wanted to go running on the treadmill, right? And there's like a specific, like there's a lot of treadmills in the gym I go to. And there's a specific area that I really like to run at, right? Because some of the treadmills, like they got like the positioning of it just isn't to my liking as far as like where it's in the gym. And some of them have like little like malfunctioning parts, like they rock a little bit when you're running on them, or they're slanted too much to the left or the right. And so I went to my favorite treadmill, but I saw that there was a girl about maybe like 3 or 4 treadmills down from that. So not even close to her. She's like fucking 4 treadmills away from where I'm about to get on. And right as I get on the treadmill to get ready to start it up, I thought to myself, I said, watch, she gonna leave in like 30 seconds. She got up and she left just like that. So I know what I'm talking about when I'm telling you guys this shit. Like, girls do not want to be bothered most of the time. And just being in the gym, it makes them like skittish like that. And the thing is, like, I'm not like some ugly, weird, creepy looking guy. Like, I'm in good fucking shape. You guys have seen me. I'm in good shape, right? I got deodorant on. And even in these scenarios, I'm not even close to them. I think, again, it's just like, I think in their mind, in those situations, it's like I got close enough. Like, it's almost like I was coming to where they were, not close to them, but close enough to where they probably felt like, oh, he just want to be around me because he want to talk to me, so let me go ahead and leave. And that's just how girls think. That's just how they be when they in the gym. Girls are just gonna automatically assume that any guy that dares get within like 25 feet of them is working up the nerve to go talk to them. And that's why overall, I tend to suggest guys don't ask girls out at the gym. But like I said, if you are a giga nigga or a Chad, then your experiences may vary, right? And that's where self-awareness comes into play. But like I said, I'm not like some ugly, fat, creepy looking guy. I'm in good shape. A lot of people assume that I'm like a football player, or like not like a big one, but like a fucking wide receiver or some shit. You know, one of the small running ass niggas. Or a boxer or some shit like that. So I'm in good shape. I fit in at the gym, right? But still, girls, that like when I get around them, then they get up and they leave. And I have no intent to talk to them whatsoever. That's the crazy thing about it. But yeah, for my money, I would say, generally speaking, don't do it. But you know, it's up to each individual man to decide that for himself, you know. But that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you on the next. So, Johnny.